All right, we're rolling.
Alright, next, it started off. That's okay. Sure.
I kind of like the brightness.
Right.
I'm discussing brightness.
Yes.
Do you happen to know, Sue, I didn't touch base with her, what Sue has plans with the RE?
There's no RE.
There is no RE, okay, they stand.
I think it's not a lot of kids may even be here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can do a lot of it. Sorry.
Yes, my kids are just.
Well, I was gonna tell her they can if they want, because it's nothing like to like grown up.
Yeah.
Or adult that you process, that may be one thing I read. But one day, that's cool.
Do you want those lights on?
I think that's, we could just discuss it.
Do you want me to turn them on and see how it feels?
You
Yeah,
need to like this.
I wasn't sure.
This is, I've had this thing. It's gonna be relatively short and sweet. I'm gonna try not to babble. I do have one already. There is a CD player. I did a lot of work.
Yeah.
Then DCAT, because we do the DCAT first. Center myself. Get ready. On? Yes. Anybody hear me? Yes. Can you hear me now? Yes. I'll try. There is no. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. We are glad you joined us in worship this day. Wherever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, racial orientation, and or gender identity, you, yes, you, are welcome to worship Him, become a part of this community. And with that, we'd like to invite you to stand. Say hello and good morning to each one another. Good morning.
I should have moved down the road.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
It's sponsorial with me. No. Morning. Hello. Morning. Thank you.
Before we begin our celebration of the exploration of the Buddha's birthday, and some of his teachings with a mashup of Buddhist and UU's, which I am not Unitarian, Buddha versus. It's all about a little bit about the Unitarian Universalist I have found in Buddhism, and vice versa, the Buddhist I think. So today, Buddhists felt 2 years being before all that, let's take a few minutes because it is Memorial Day weekend. I truly want to recognize this weekend because they're members of my family in the military. And I really do want to recognize the sacrifices they have made time and time again. The people who do this are your brothers and your sisters, your sons and your daughters and mothers. And all across this great country of ours, the United States of America, even with all its faults, it is still great in my mind. Those who served and died in protecting our freedoms, one of which we are free to exercise this day. My heart is always free. Yes, that is. Are there any announcements?
Big shot, right?
Surprise, who has an announcement?
One of them is actually Erin's announcement. She asked me to deliver it for her. Today is the day we pull the winning ticket for the ballet tickets. So if you want to buy raffle tickets for the ballet, today's your last shot. It's for Sleeping Beauty, and the show is next weekend, June 3rd, if I remember correctly. I believe it's Matt. But anyway, if you want to buy raffle tickets, the proceeds go towards the plexiglass. The next announcement I have is on Friday, June 16th, we are playing host to Abington Aspire's first ever Pride Prom. We are not hosting it, they are hosting it, we are donating our space to contribute to the cause. But if you know of any high schoolers that might be interested in attending, you do not have to be LGBTQ person. It's also open to allies, but it's for teenagers only, for high schoolers. So if you know any high schoolers that might want to go, let me know and I'll get you information to get tickets. And I believe Susan and Caroline are going to be our volunteers on site, and Judy may be here as well, to kind of keep an eye on things. But if anybody else wants to volunteer for that, let me know, because we got to run a query on you.
I don't know if I'm that responsible.
And the final announcement is, then the following week, on Saturday, June 24th, we are again playing host to another organization. The Massachusetts Walking Tour, partnered with Gateways to Nature, is hosting their, they do a series of hikes and free concerts to kind of highlight open space in different towns across Massachusetts. They have the goal of doing a hike and concert in every town in the state. So they're doing Holbrook, Abington, Whitman, and Rockland. Rockland is going to be on June 24th. They're doing a hike down the rail trail at 11 a.m. And then at 6 p.m. they're coming here to do a free concert. So if you want to go on a hike with them, I have flyers with their website and get the information. If you just want to come for a free concert, that's going to be that evening at 6 p.m. Folks from Channing, the people that usually do the coffee house events are gonna be on site selling coffee and snacks, just like the coffee house. That's how we're gonna make our money on the event, because we're donating the space. That's why. So if anybody would like to volunteer, please let me know. Otherwise, you can just come for a free concert. I'm done now.
Anybody else have an announcement?
It doesn't have anything to do with the church. But if anybody needs a free dining room set.
Okay, there's a free dining room set. And I might use that myself. I have. Anyone who would like to come on Sundays through the summer, as you would for regular service, and spend that time volunteering your person hours, housing, grounds, maintenance, so as to prepare it to receive what landscaping, guardscaping, or hardscaping we may choose to do in the future. See me at coffee hour day, we can set some dates. I know some people have expressed some interest in helping me do some work around it, and I would appreciate it. We can just do it as a service, same time every Sunday, because I'm always good on Sunday. So some other time to work. Maybe get some private time. So see me later about that. In keeping with the theme of Buddhitarian verses, we're going to light our chalice today in a short Tibetan chant. That is a short term form of what is known as the mantra of the prayer of grand compassion. Prayer of grand compassion is devised to arouse in the speaker that loving kindness that the Christians speak of when it comes to loving your neighbor as yourself. These words are considered the most sacred sounds, what they call the lineages of Tibet. It goes beyond, but they are harmonies. They are Tibetan. They are very simple, but when you break them down, you get real technical. This is full schematic of what each syllable, what each sound, each portion of the sound means. Spiritual understanding of things. Phrase you may have heard is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om is a sacred sound, and in Tibetan it is pronounced more of an A-U-M, like an Om. When they draw it out. And some lineages actually they call it singing, which is the activation of our secondary vocal cords that most of us don't even use, and a lot of people don't even know exist. But the full phrase is sometimes chanted like this. Or is changed like this. Well, maybe not the way I do it, but I do it the best way I can. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's Om Mani Padme Hum. Then, in some lineages, there are other prayers attached. From the Pali tradition, they speak, again, to the best of my pronunciation, that I was taught from a friend. Om Mani Padme Hum. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Saranam. Dharma Saranam Gacchami. Sangha Saranam Gacchami. And what that says is, Om Mani Padme Hum. May all beings achieve bliss, nirvana. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa is basically may all beings strive to and realize their Buddha nature, which is akin to our inherent dignity that we are seven principles. Buddham Saranam Gacchami refers to taking refuge in the three jewels of Buddhism, which are the Buddha, the teaching, and the community. Again, community, something we talk about here quite a bit. That's why I really like Buddhism, because the emphasis is on inner work, being a better person, and bringing that forward into community. We in the West would call it a prayer, they call it a mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum encapsulates, as I said, the mantra of grand compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum basically says, may all beings learn to seek bliss. May all beings cultivate bliss. May all beings achieve bliss. May all beings abide forever in bliss. So. You all say with me, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. May all things be peace. Oh, yes. I thought there would be more kids here today. And instead of singing them out, I chose something from one of our little books here. And I will read it to you adults, since there aren't any kids here. These words that I found in this book kind of express how I come to feel about the kids in this church and kids in general in my life. It is not very Buddhist, but it is very Unitarian person. I do not have a child, but if I did, I would teach that child wisdom. I would protect him and make sure he knew how to protect himself. I would nudge her toward higher ideals and plenty of resilience. I would tell stories of my life, both happy and sad, and the things that I have learned. I would remind them that things don't always work out perfectly, that mistakes happen, and that success and joy are usually found by improving upon your failures, then finding a way to let them go. I do not have a child, but if I did, I would probably feel paralyzed at times with the magnitude of my responsibility. Knowing that the time together is short compared to the list of lessons to be learned. I would be overwhelmed knowing that will never be a moment my child is not learning something, and that in the long run, they will remember me, good or bad, as one of the most important teachers they ever had. I'm sure I would live with uncertainty, wondering if I were doing the right thing or enough of what is needed. I would try not to push too hard, but hard enough to let her know that I care. I would not want to be their therapist, but I would want to be somebody with whom they could share their problems. I would feel the anguish of knowing I could never completely cure what is ease in life's dilemmas or incongruities bring. I might not even understand her disease, but I'd be resigned to suffer alongside her for the time we're together, hoping my support will help her even after I am gone. I do not have a child, but I imagine the hard part will be figuring out how to get the light into all the dark places she is apt to wander, not knowing how often or how long she will feel at home in the glow of my adoration. The hard part would be remembering the pain of my own past and hoping that I have found ways to let healing and not hurt shine from those memories. The hard part will be a mixture of fear and hope. The fear that I will eventually fail in protecting them from hurt, and the worry that they would be miserable if I somehow succeeded in doing so. I hope that when the world does test them, they will stand up and shine. And I guess that having children would mean a good deal of prayer. Prayer that one day my child will come back to me, beaming with joy, explaining how he has made the world a brighter place, and how the world has made him a brighter person. I do not have a child, but I know that this is neither a reason nor an excuse for the new generation to go without my experience, my vision, or my character. I do not have to have a child of my own to love what children bring. And I hope to help them, to hold them, inspire them, and make them capable of living well. At this time, as you know, our church is free, but it is not a free church. The offering portion of our worship service reminds you what it means to support our own religious community. Instead of having somebody else support it and tell us how to live, where to go if we dissent or disobey. The offering reminds us that our congregation belongs to us, each of us, as well as the whole of us.
Chance to relax today. Thank you.
We're gonna have to. Thank you. If you will open in your grade to the responsorial section in the back, we actually have okay. What you're looking for is number 596, boundless goodwill, and number 598 on the adjacent page titled Without Hate. What I'd like to do is do the responsorial as if they were one. You will see that on down at the bottom of 596, we can jump right over to 598 and continue on from there. This is the selection I found that kind of expands upon the meaning of Om Mani Padme Hum and the mantra of Grand Compassion. It is not an exact translation, but it is the spirit of the mantra of Grand Compassion. In 596, boundless goodwill. Let us cultivate boundless goodwill.
Let none deceive another or despise any being.
Let none in anger or ill will wish another harm.
Even as a mother watches over her child, so with boundless mind should one cherish all living.
Radiating friendliness over the whole world.
Above view.
May every creature abound in well-being and peace.
May every living being equal strong, the long and small, the short and the medium size, the weak and the great.
May every living being, seen or unseen, those dwelling far off and those dwelling near, those already born, those waiting to be born.
May all attain inward peace.
Let no one deceive another no one despise another in any situation.
Let no one from antipathy or hatred wish evil to anyone.
Just as a mother or a parent with their own life protects their child from hurt, so within yourself, foster a limitless concern for all living creatures.
Display a heart of boundless love. All the world.
Love unrestrained without hate or enmity.
Then as you stand or walk, sit or lie, until overcome by drowsiness, devote your mind entirely to this. It is known that living the life.
Buddhitarian universalist. Buddhism is a lot about inner work. Not necessarily a religion, it's a philosophy or system. There is spiritual elements within it, but it's not a dogmatic thing. Americans in particular are in need of some serious inner work, in my opinion. The soul searching 1-800 got junk kind of. That will be back. That's what Buddhism is about. For me, I found Buddhism when I was about 14 years old, and I have been studying and reading about it ever since then. Not completely since I was 14. There have been patches where I just got my knees, walked away from everything, and did very non-things. Inner work, as modern humans, is, especially as we Americans, we tend to completely ignore that inner work. And when I refer to spiritualism, the inner world, I refer to the same thing. In my belief system, which is coupled with unionist communism and my Christian roots. I think that we, because it is immaterial, tend to dismiss our inner thoughts, our emotions, and our feelings, and that's what I would call the soul. In the Buddhist tradition, that essence is known as the Atman. The non-material world within is just as important as the material world without. It is just as true and authentic as the outer world is. This is the thing about when he tackles this subject, just like the Unitarians. At least 3 to 4 times a week, because I live here, I'm blessed to live here. I actually come down here about 3:30 in the morning, and I see what it's called, Zazen, which in Buddhist tradition, when one sits on one's heels, wall. Because the wall, the wall around you, and it's a problem. And I pray like it. For many. Om Mani Padme Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Guru Saranam Gacchami, Dhamma Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Then I actually get up and I mix it up with a little bit of my own stuff, and it ends up a lot with Steve Miller in Aerosmith. Because after I finish about an hour in meditation, I really feel that I can fly like an eagle. And so my prayer often ends with, and I'd like to teach this song to the kids someday. You all might know it. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, join the revolution. Feed the babies, we got enough to eat. Shoot the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Whoa, be the revolution. Feed the babies, we got enough to eat. Shoot the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the sleep. Oh, be the solution. You need to fly like an eagle until you're free. Fly like an eagle, let thy spirit carry you. You need to fly like an eagle till you're free. Oh, be the revolution. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. And then I add some tidbits that I learned over the years as it fits. Remember this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama, Mahatma, Mahatma, Mahatma. Martin Luther, Martin Luther, Martin Luther, Martin Luther. Mohammed, Mohammed, Mohammed. And I mix it up with that. Thank you for listening. Thank you. There's another tradition that I greatly love in Buddhism, and it is a simple word, and that word is namaste. Namaste literally means I bow to you. Namaste, I bow to you. Same thing. Exactly. It does, however, have a deeper meaning. And for a lot of Hindus that have been reading for years. And it is spread. It is presented with your arms placed together, held over the heart, signifying the union of material and spiritual. And you bow slightly. And deeper meaning is that the glorious nature and the precious being within me recognizes and honors the glorious nature and the precious being within you. Your inherent worth, dignity. When I marched for George Floyd, I carried my first ever protest flag. And some of you might know, George Floyd is a unique and precious human being. That is my namaste to George Floyd and all the rest of them. May they rest in peace. This mindset behind the greeting is also called what is known as the yogic asana, and it is claimed to be the method of balancing the energies within yourself and the energies of the world. Namaste keeps us centered and inwardly poised and mentally protected. It is said that if that closes our world, which is actually documented by science these days. It is an energy field within you, whether you believe that or not, that is emanating throughout the world, and it is interconnected, which corresponds with another one of our principles, the interconnected. It keeps us from becoming too externalized in the world. Like I mentioned earlier about Americans in particular tending to ignore the inner world and spiritual side of things, which I really do believe in. And if I do have to go back to spiritual revival, that is what I would give them. Not necessarily, like I said, a dogmatic, you must believe this way, but a revival, namaste, within the hearts of every being. It draws you inward also each time you say it, which is further the connections to each other. When you recognize it in the other, it underpins that which is perennial, the thing that always is. There is a thread that runs through our existence, as Shakespeare said, that shapes our ends and all that. If you, again, I mentioned Aldous Huxley quite often, because his book, The Perennial Philosophy, has become somewhat of my Bible. So I encourage you all to check out The Perennial Philosophy, Aldous Huxley. These are available through the UUA. There are several editions of them. I have absconded with a copy of each from the office, so I owe you about $32. So it's not favorite. I used in that document quite a bit. I want to give you a quick review of the Unitarian Universalist principles, because they are very Buddhist in nature once I compare them to the path. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. That's number one. That's what namaste comes in. Number two is justice, equity, and compassion in all human relations. Number three, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. And another one, lost count, 1, 2, 3, 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic processes within our congregation and society at large. The goal of the world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respecting the interdependent way of existence of which we are a part. Path of Buddhism teaches 4 noble truths. This is where it gets a little harsh, and people think that Buddhism becomes a religion of negation and negativity. Because the first noble truth that the Buddha taught after his enlightenment, while sitting under the Bodhi tree at Deer Park, revealed the truth of suffering. It happens, it has happened, it will happen, get used to it. There's no way around suffering. But he also gave us the truth of the cause of suffering, in what is termed, in their terminology, the basic everyday unsatisfactoriness of existence. What they call, what Nietzsche called existential angst. John Sartre called it that as well. It's when you're so involved in the external world that it is beginning to define you and really irritate you. Then he gave us the truth of the end of suffering. It is possible, but with great effort of mind. And of course, the truth that leads to the path of the end of suffering, guess who came up with that? The Buddha. And he recommends the eightfold noble path. There are several variations of the eightfold noble path. And once you start understanding, you may develop your own path to the end as well. The eightfold path begins with right understanding. That is the right understanding of the Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha, or the teaching of your own spiritual tradition. Right thought, which means thinking good things about yourself, thinking good things about people, thinking good things about the world. It is what they used to say in the old classic poetry, God will the gates to the garden of the mind. Be wary of the seeds that you plant. Right speech. I think we all know what that means. No vulgarity, no ugliness in your speech. And One of the things that I've noticed lately in our culture, in our society, is the embeddedness of violent attitude in a lot of what we say. Because when a comedian gets up and he's a big success, or anywhere in the world, oh, we killed him, we slayed him, you know, we cut him up. Those things are part of wrong speech. You should have right speech and be enlightening, uplifting. First of all, to yourself in your inward conversations, and then obviously be polite. It's that simple. These grandiose concepts that the Buddha boiled down into these little simple understanding things. One of the things I like about Buddha. He also talks about right action and right livelihood. Right action is the conduct of your life, how you live, and how you have your being. In the Christian sense, they would be encouraged to live through him, within him, in the unity of the Holy Spirit. That would be living in right action, Christian perspective. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration are the last three. And compared to the 7 principles, they are quite simple. Because through right thought, and speech, action, and livelihood, ethic, mindfulness, concentration, I need to do it, concentration, you can honor the inherent worth and dignity of every person. You can live with justice, equity, compassion, and human relationships. You can accept one another and encourage you to spiritual growth in our congregation. You can have a free and responsible search for truth. You can see in it the right of consciousness and the use of democratic process within our congregation and society at large, in the right livelihood. Mindfulness, concentration, and ethic, good thought, good speech, also applies to the goal of world community, liberty, and justice for all. And all of it together is respect for the interdependent web of all existence. I could go on and on about this, as I already ended. The Dalai Lama, this guy right down here, who I have pictures of, this is my card set. What you see up here are elements of my altar that I have upstairs, because I do consider myself practicing Taoisean persons. The Buddhists are just representations of the Buddha. You'll notice that a lot of them, you see this chubby guy, and everyone thinks that people, we should worship a fat God. They don't. That is symbolic of his abundant wisdom, compassion, and knowledge of the workings of the universe. Sometimes you will see what they call an emaciated group, which is when the Buddha starved himself for enlightenment. He left his palace as a young prince. He was Prince Siddhartha of Buddha. Buddha he became later, but he was prince of what is known, I believe it's the Shakyamuni clan. And it was a pretty big sizable fight in ancient India. And long story short, it is said that upon his birth, a wise man made prophecy that he will either be a great warrior king or he will be a great warrior. The old man was like, no. This guy is not going to be a priest. He's not going to be a holy man. I don't want that for my kid. He's going to live in the lap of luxury. He's going to know no suffering. He's going to know no pain. He's just going to live the life of Riley, as they used to call it, with no worries whatsoever. Then one day, I think on his 16th birthday, as he said, they bring him up, show him to the world, and he discovers 3 things. He discovers pain, suffering, old age, and death. In his mind, he wants to do something. So, at the age of 18, he finally gives up, runs away from the house, and he goes into the woods and he stops. When he's about to die at the edge of a river, a girl appeared full of rice, and he ate it. And all his buddies were like, "You loser, you gave up. What are you doing? That's not the path." And that's when he realized that the inner love in the inner world was just as important as the outer world. And that you shouldn't dismiss what you have inside of you just because the rest of the world thinks it's wrong. And that's why the Dalai Lama teaches that since our very existence and well-being are the result of cooperation and contribution of countless others, we must develop a proper attitude about the way we relate to them. We often tend to forget this basic fact, and today our modern global economy, our national boundaries are developed. Not only do countries depend on them, but so do continents. We are heavily interdependent. Also, there's a lot being done these days in studying things as applied to our problems today. It has been found through Dalai Lama, along with several other sponsors, to be tested at MIT and other colleges across the country. They put steam camps on, they did twice. They actually read their brains. Some of them have been put into MRI machines while in states of deep meditation, and their brains have been scanned, documented in math. And it turns out that some of their crazy claims might be true. It is known they have the ability, really accomplished meditating monks, to actually control their heartbeat and consciousness. They are able, and it takes a long time to learn how to do this, to slow their breathing and slow their heart rate. Imagine that, if you could do that, if you're that capable of that light, and one day you're having a heart attack, it is possible maybe to slow that heart attack down with right concentration, right? It sounds far-fetched, but there are scientific indications that this is possible. And now I'm going to ask Maddie what's next, because I started that one a little bit. And I don't want to keep you all there.
Big babbling is definitely on there. Did you do participation? Was there anything?
That was I hope I haven't bored you. I hope I give you something interesting. I would, before Maddie plays with 20 minutes music, which I'm gonna sit and relax, meditate. You're welcome to stay and sit, welcome to get the coffee started, and all of that if you'd like. So I'm not doing that today. I would like to recommend a few things. If you are a reader, James Kingsley's Siddhartha's Brain. It is a study into the possible workings of Buddha's brain back in 566 to 400 AD. This I recommend for Unitarian Universalism. Why Buddhism is true. I recommend it, I really recommend it. This, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Read it 7 times. It still doesn't make sense. But there's some beautiful words in there. And in this book, in their tradition, the body is considered just another suit. I can imagine it myself as a being from another existence. Coming down and putting on this suit. Much like a scuba diver goes under the water. It's like the edge of breathing. You need to leave that in mind. But when one passes that tradition, they lie in state in the terror of the Vietnam several days. Prayers are spoken into their dreams. And this book is a guidebook through the realms of death beyond rebirth. That book of the dead. Actually, title is a little misleading because it's very much about life. So check out the Tibetan Book of the Dead. There is a very nice translation by Robert Herman, the first Americans ordained a Buddhist monk in the Tibetan tradition, who also happens to be a Buddha. He was a friend of Abby Hoffman and followed him back in the day when the beatnik generation, which brought Buddhism to the West. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me sing. That was part of my, I think I will go on stage right now and Scott us Who knows? Maddie's gonna play for us, we're gonna sit down and relax, that concludes my battle. Have a wonderful day.
So at this point, the service is over, you're welcome to the coffee house, move around, stand up if you need to, but I am gonna play 20-minute meditation and. It should be beautiful. All this is- What'd you say? It's perfect. I imagine the 3 a.m. meditation. here is- Imagine. I totally recommend taking very slow, deep breaths. If you know what 4, 7, 8 breathing is, like that. See, a lot of them. Space. I'll leave it for it's good. What'd you say?
I should have one more than most of my alters, but.
Oh my God, that people is the best. That should have something. Yeah, like, I'm just like. There's a lot outside. You know, the space is perfect. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very nice.
T.
One of these days, Maddie, you're gonna come in here with that thing and plop you right